Hello there, Ian here once again, and I very much hope that life is treating you well. I hope that you're happy, healthy and strong. Today I'd like to share another follow-up idea on the topic of employee-employer relations, specifically to how we divide up the rewards. In a previous video I talked about the idea of partnering your team members or your employees. These days I believe that people join companies and they look forward to a sense of partnership, that you're on the journey together. I can build my legacy, at the same time the leadership is building theirs, and we're approaching this together. However, if you are in a leadership position, let's say that you're the entrepreneur that has set up the company and you are now in a position to start dividing up some of the rewards. And you may feel, hang on, this is a company that I have built. I have taken most of the risk. I put in the seed capital to grow the company. Should I get most of the rewards first? Should I get the lion's share of the fruits of these efforts? So here are a couple of ideas to help you with that question, of course. And don't you hate these consulting, coaching type answers that start, there is no right or wrong answer with this. It depends on the situation. But of course there is no definitive right or wrong answer. But here are a couple of ideas to help you. Number one, when we divide up the rewards, the core principle that I recommend is that you do it in line with your company's values. If you have a well-documented, well-developed set of core values that govern the decisions that you make in the business, I would recommend you start there. It's like you've got the court of arbitration right there written down and everyone understands the rules, and you just refer to the rule book when you divide up the rewards. If you don't have a well-developed set of values that are alive and well in the company, then start by asking yourself what would be the right thing to do. And if you struggle with that, a great idea is to talk to the team. Get the team involved in developing the rules for sharing out the rewards. And if you are feeling that most of the initial rewards should be yours, then explain that and get the team's take on that you're going to have the lion's share of the rewards while paying the team for their contribution at what hopefully is a market rate salary. So the first thing to look at is your values. What would be the, in quotes, the right thing to do? The next idea is that you make it transparent. Transparency can save you from a lot of unasked questions. Questions that people have in the back of their mind that they don't want to ask for fear of upsetting people, but it's nagging away at the back of their mind, wondering what's going on. Let me give you a quick example. When I was a young boy, my father was in sales and he did a lot of traveling, and he was very rarely late home for dinner. But because he was on the road a lot, once or twice I remember him being late back, and I would always make up a story, and it was always wrong and it was always bad. It was always, he's in some kind of an accident, things are going to go really, really badly from here, and that's why he's late. So in the absence of information, human beings make up their own story. They're always bad, and they're almost always bad, and they're almost always wrong. So we can get rid of that by sharing information. Transparency is the key. Make it open so that you can see how these rewards are allocated, and if you've talked to the team as well, hopefully you'll get buy-in from the other team members and staffers on the company. Another example of how transparency worked very well for a former client of ours was as follows. Here in this part of the world there are 4 major festivals, and each one is marked with typically a gift. Normally that's money, and normally it's put in a decorative packet, so people can't see how much money is in the packet. Now, invariably, the amounts of money given out have a habit of leaking out between the team members. And this gentleman in a company that we worked with was struggling with how much money to put in each person's packet. Until we talked about it, and I suggested, how about giving everybody the same amount? That took a while to sink in, but then we discussed, is it a bonus? Is it linked to someone's contract? Is it linked to the company's performance? And it was none of these. It was simply a gift to celebrate the festival. Therefore, I said, why don't we make it transparent and give everybody exactly the same? It was like a weight had been lifted off this gentleman's shoulders. And that was a simple, transparent solution to what was previously a complex problem. So I really hope that gave you some ideas on how to build your legacy, how to support the legacy of your team members as they grow theirs, whilst hopefully rewarding you as the entrepreneur, if that's where you are in your company's journey, and looking after the team members. I really hope that did make sense. Do it in line with your values, make it transparent, discuss it with the team, and it can diffuse a lot of tension before it manifests itself. So I hope that gave you a few ideas to think about, and I look forward to sharing with you again soon.